The privacy of your email, iCloud photos, and even heart rate history on a smartwatch may be at stake as the Supreme Court is set to weigh whether cops can obtain cell phone data without a warrant.
Well, here to break down the landmark case and what it means for you is Fox News senior judicial analyst Judge Andrew Napolitano. Now, Judge, these are people who come here from other countries that could have ties to terror, correct?
This is a case of a guy who burglarized a Radio Shack store. And before he burglarized the store, he cased it. He drove around it, drove around another store, not realizing that his iPhone on the front seat of his car was capturing the location of where the iPhone went.
All the time?
All the time. So the police, without getting a search warrant, got the wireless signal from the iPhone via the telephone company that was his service provider, and they were able to show, the prosecutors were able to show the jury where he was, that he surrounded this place, and it helped to convict him. There was ample other evidence of his guilt as well. The question is, can the government get the contents of an iPhone without a search warrant? If the answer to that is yes, then there is no privacy whatsoever because there's no requirement that the government has to go through. Right now, before they can start an investigation, they have to have suspicion about you. They can't just say, kill me looks guilty. They have to have some articulable suspicion. I'm just picking on Brian. Then in order to get information that is kept in here, they have to go to a judge and get a search warrant. Why? Because the Constitution requires it. If they don't have to do that, then they could put out a dragnet and get everything and anything they want about everybody, and we will have no privacy left, and the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution will be meaningless.
Two angles for you. Electronically, here's my challenge to you. You could shut off your tracking device in your cell phone. Location services, number one. And number two is, what's the difference between, let me see, that what your phone says, and I have an eyewitness who saw you driving around the block. And number three is, there are no more Radio Shacks, sir.
Oh, yeah, I know. They went out of business. So this happened a couple of years ago.
So what about my first two challenges?
You cannot turn off the existence of the phone. This looks like it's off, but it is not off, and it still emits signals.
You have to take the battery out.
Right, but you can't do it without destroying it now, and the police use a device to trick this, as you
beat
know.
that one. What's the second one?
The other one, I don't know what the other... Oh, the other one was an eyewitness. Well, you have no privacy if an eyewitness observes what you do, but the Constitution protects persons, houses, papers, and effects. Isn't the computer chip inside of this an effect?
It's so frustrating that when you see what happened at like the church shooting and they've got the guy's cell phone and they can't break into it because they don't have the warrant, they don't have his password, and it's frustrating because you could get answers and prevent other attacks.
But the government does have that. The NSA has it for national security and intelligence purposes, and we trust the NSA with it. I might not trust them, but the public does.
Judge, real quick, are you surprised that this administration, the Department of Justice, is just like the Obama administration?
There's another one for you, Brian. This is the same position that Loretta Lynch and Eric Holder took. Why is Jeff Sessions, why is his Justice Department taking the position that is so dismissive of personal liberty when the President of the United States, before he was president, campaigned against this kind of stuff because he himself was victimized by it?
I rest my case. Don't you have a finality to that statement?
I guess the moral of the story is if you're going to rob someplace, don't take your cell phone.
Yeah, that is one of the morals, Steve.
Holy cow.
The other is
or just don't rob anything.
Or don't rob anything.
The Constitution should mean what it says.
Yeah, just get a job and save your own money and invest like everybody else.
Are the Giants still playing football?
No, not really. I watched them Sunday. That's not football. On Thursday, rather.
All right.